Hello, everyone. My name is Nelson Brown, and I am one of the student team leads for Xavier University of Louisiana's Mobile Outreach for Laboratory Enrichment program. Today, I will be talking to you guys about a very important topic, which is lab safety. The first thing I would like to address with you all is working safely when entering a lab environment. First and foremost, you have to dress appropriately. So that means no open top or open toed shoes. That includes flip-flops, sandals, Crocs, etc. Also, shorts are a bad idea because you would like to cover your knees and possibly the rest of your legs because you do not want a chemical spilling on your skin. Also, you should wear no loose clothing. If you, say, had an open flame and you had a loose t-shirt, that could possibly catch on fire. Also, tie back your hair if you have long hair because of the same reason. Also, you have to look around and be aware of your surroundings when you're in the lab. If somebody else is running an experiment, you want to ensure that you're not doing anything that could cause any hazards in that same space. Also, finally, no running in the lab. Next, these are just some general precautions for working safely in the lab. Just ensure that you keep access clear at all times to the exits, stairways, and hallways. Also ensure that emergency equipment is reachable in case of an emergency. I know at some schools you will not have showers and eye washes, but if you encounter any problems or any hazards during an experiment, please talk to one of the team leads. If you have any chemicals spilled on your hands, please wash them thoroughly. Same with your eyes or anything else. If anything gets into those areas, ensure that you wash them diligently with water. Soap and water for hands. Next, I would like to address the ramp principle. So the ramp principle has 4 components, and first I would like to talk about the R of ramp. The R stands for recognizing the hazard. So this means identifying any possible hazards in the lab. This includes anything that can possibly spill over easily. So it's just ensuring that you're in a proper work environment that is safe and there's nothing around you that could possibly go wrong. Second is the A, and this stands for assessing the risk of any situation. So this means, like, when dealing with an experiment, if anything is unfamiliar, please ensure that you talk to one of the team leads, talk to one of the volunteers, and we can help you to assess the risk of a situation, assess whether you need to change up any safety precautions that you're using during a lab. So this will allow you to make a plan for your experiment to ensure that no hazards occur. The M stands for minimizing the risk. So this includes reviewing hazards, proper techniques, and personal protective equipment, so your PPE. That means goggles, ensuring that you're fully covered when dealing with chemicals, just to ensure that you're safe. So this is all those steps that we took previously when talking about entering a lab environment and working safely. So no open-toed shoes, all that. And just ensuring that you're keeping yourself safe and others safe in the lab. Finally, the P stands for preparing for emergencies. So that means just ensuring that you know where a fire alarm is, say, or a fire extinguisher, and also knowing where you can wash hands or wash your eyes if anything gets into your eyes. Cleaning up is very important in the lab as well. First, you have to wash your glassware. So that means washing it with distilled water. A lot of this stuff can be done by our team at times, but you also have to ensure that you know that you have to wash properly, dispose of waste properly, because we will also have waste containers there for you for certain liquids or solids that need to be put in these waste containers instead of poured down the drain or thrown in the trash. Also, you have to restore the space the way that you found it so that there's no leftovers from your lab for the next people that would be using the desks. Finally, you have to put away everything. So put chemicals back in the appropriate place based on the directions stated by me or any other group leaders that are leading your lab. Next, I would like to talk about minimizing the risk during an experiment by wearing PPE or personal protective equipment. This includes goggles, lab coats, or gloves, and all of these can be used to minimize the risk during an experiment. Goggles can ensure that chemicals don't get into your eyes. A lab coat can ensure that chemicals won't get onto your skin. And gloves obviously will protect your hands. Goggles should be worn in any situation that we bring goggles for you guys. So this will happen every so often, possibly, but we will ensure that everybody has goggles to work with during a lab, that there are hazards for your eyes. So also know the location of working eye wash in the safety shower and the fire extinguisher. So if you don't have an eye wash station or a shower station, ensure that you know where the nearest faucet is or restroom is, so that if any chemicals get onto your skin, you can wash your hands and just rinse it off with soap and water. Prior to using hazardous chemicals, ensure that you have proper ventilation. We will not be dealing with much things or any things like this, so you don't really have to worry. I would like to continue talking about chemical hazards and working safely in the lab. So you just have to ensure that you're always being alert for potential problems. So as I talked about earlier, you just have to ensure that there are no hazards around you while working with chemicals or working in the lab. Also, only use chemicals as directed. So if we tell you a specific volume to use of a solvent, or a specific weight, or I have a pre-prepared weight of a certain chemical, please use that specified weight so that you don't have any possible mix-ups with your lab and the results. Please do not smoke, eat, drink, apply cosmetics, chew gum, smell, inhale, or taste anything in the lab, please. This is important because we do not want anybody to possibly ingest or inhale any chemicals that are harmful. Please keep spills off of hands, face, clothing, and shoes, because you don't want to you want to avoid touching any of the chemicals that we work with. So after, if you touch any chemicals or anything is spilled on you, please wash thoroughly with soap and water. Also minimize your cell phone use during the lab, if you have any cell phone use during the lab. Because chemicals can stick to any surfaces, so that includes your phone. Also, never work alone in the lab. So, for the disposal of liquid chemicals, as I talked about earlier, we will have some waste bottles prepared for you all. But there are some things that can go down the drain, aka dilute acids and bases can go down the drain, but they have to be diluted. So you have to pour them down the drain with water. Also, heavy metals need to go into separate waste containers. We will have those waste containers, waste bottles for you all to dispose of any heavy metals. Also, there will be waste containers for any liquid solvents that cannot go down the drain. So you just have to talk to a Zulumol's team lead, or we will likely tell you before the lab where you need to dispose of these chemicals. If we ever have any broken glassware in the lab, please alert a Zulumol team lead, and we can help you with the situation. There are glass waste containers that we have at our school that we'll be able to dispose of any broken glass. So, here's a big question. What if a reaction catches on fire? So there are 3 steps to this. First, you have to ask yourself, can you handle this situation? So if you know how to operate a fire extinguisher or use a fire blanket and put out a fire, please go ahead and use your knowledge. But if you have any doubt, then call somebody else, aka the fire department, by pulling the fire alarm, or alert one of the team leads and we can help you with the situation. If you were able to put out the fire by yourself, please notify one of the Xavier team leads, and we will be able to write up a report of the fire. And if you cannot deal with the fire, please get out of the lab as quickly as possible. Pull the fire alarm as you're leaving. So, say the previous situation that I talked about gets out of hand and somebody catches on fire. I'm sure you've been told this many times in your life, but if a safety shower is not available, please stop, drop, and roll, or use a fire blanket, or if you have a safety shower, please use the safety shower. If any of these options aren't available to you, please get help from one of the XULA team leads, a teacher in your school, or anybody that is able to help you with the situation. So what if a chemical spills? If a chemical spills, you have to clean it up promptly, so as soon and as quick as possible. If it is an acid or a base, you can dilute this with water and just wipe it up and it'll be fine. But if you have a large spill, please remove any sources of ignition so that the chemical cannot catch on fire possibly, and also evacuate the area. Immediately inform one of your XULA team leads, your teacher, or anybody that is able to help with the situation, and stay away until everything is good and you are told that it is all clear to enter back into the lab. What if chemical exposure occurs? So if you are exposed to a chemical through inhalation, please move to fresh air. If you have chemicals in your eyes, please flush them with water for 15 minutes. On your skin, wash extensively with soap and water, so that's anywhere on your skin, arms, legs, anything. Delayed reactions are possible, so you want to ensure that you deal with the situation as fast as possible. And if you swallow any chemicals, we will have to alert a medical authority to help you. So please do not swallow any chemicals, all right? Also, if a coworker is exposed, identify which chemicals were used so that you can know their specific hazards. And you can also refer to labels for any specifics. So if there are labeling on there that has specific chemical hazard symbols, we'll be able to help you with that and analyze the hazard. If the exposure is life-threatening, please keep calm. We will also call the police to notify EMS and decontaminate the victim. We will also be able to obtain an SDS for the EMS or the hospital that you go to, and they will be able to deal with the specified chemical and in whatever manner that they are able to. Please don't worry, we will not be using such high concentrations of any acids or bases that will be life-threatening, or any chemicals that will likely be hazardous to you. This is just for safety in general. But if any situation like this ever happens, notify us immediately, call the police. We will call them for you if need be. In summary, so gathering up all the points together, basically you just have to be a positive example to the others around you and stay prepared, alert, and safe in the lab to ensure that there are no hazards that can impact you or the people around you. Finally, here are the references for the PowerPoint. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to talk to any of your XULA team leads to address any questions or comments you may have about this presentation. I'm sure anybody in our little crew of volunteers and team leads would be able to help you to understand anything that you didn't understand during this PowerPoint. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great semester.